on Friday, the 16th of March, when the finance minister rises to present his seventh budget, he'll have a very difficult task on his hand. He will have to curtail the fiscal deficit. Last year, which he promised, will be 4.6%, and in turn, we'll find that the fiscal deficit has ballooned to 5.8% of the GDP. And how, from where has this fiscal deficit increased? It is a mixture of two things. One is the expenditures which have been cut. So the planned expenditure was less to the extent of 15,000 crores. So this is a saving which the finance minister will do. Another thing is that he whiplashed the PSUs to give a higher dividend. So 10,000 crores is the higher dividend that he has received this year. So overall, he'll have a relief of 25,000 crores, but he has given away quite a bit. And we'll find that the subsidies will account for almost 70,000 crores. And the divestment shortfall will be around 25,000 crores. And the tax shortfall is going to be 32,000 crores. So all in all, he'll be left with a fiscal deficit of 5.8% of the GDP, which will be a tall order to curtail next year. The overall expectations from what the FM should do is very, very less, but nevertheless, we come out with 9 things that the finance minister will do in this budget, and one thing that we want him not to touch, and that is the capital markets. So we look at all those measures that we think that the finance minister could actually go out and do it. First and foremost is the raising of the excise duty. In order to stimulate the industrial economy in 2008, we had reduced the excise duty from 16% to 12%, and now we would see the excise duty might be raised across the board by 2%. Political parties may call this inflationary, and in fact it will be inflationary in nature, but there are no shortcuts to this because the deficit will have to be controlled. The second step which the finance minister could take is to increase the number of companies, number of industries which give him service tax. So there will be efforts by the finance minister to increase the ambit of the services tax. And the best thing to do is to reduce the negative list of service tax. The industries which are currently come under service tax, currently come under the negative list, we could see curtailment of this particular list. Both the finance minister and the prime minister had lent a very patient ear to the woes of the power sector companies, and the best way to treat them in a nice manner in this budget is to do away with the import duty on imported coal. And that could, so currently the duty which is around 5% could be done away with, and the power production companies will find it to a great relief. Their power production cost could come down. Another feature could be that we could see the import duty on power equipment could be raised, and that is to impart a level playing field to the domestic players. So it could be beneficial to the domestic power equipment companies. We could see the duty being raised, import duty being raised. So this could help in particularly BHEL and other power sector companies. But the one more reform that the finance minister could do with in the current budget is to help the state electricity boards come over there, to tide over their financial problems. So we could find some sort of leeway given in one of the power programs in which easy loans could be given to the state electricity boards to overcome their current liquidity situations, which in turn could impart some kind of a, let's say, semblance of better assets from the power sector for the banking sector. So with this reform, the banking sector could also benefit, but the primary beneficiary would obviously be the power sector companies. like the usual policy that we have is people in terms of expectations, the usual expectation is that the excise duty would be hiked on cigarettes, but in this particular budget the common theme is that people expect that diesel cars could be taxed more, and this could come in the form of a higher excise duty. So, apart from the fact that 2% excise duty will be increased across the board, diesel car could come in for an additional excise duty. So, our own senses, the diesel cars could be expensive by 10 to 20,000 rupees a piece. Although the organization of automobile manufacturers has come forward and said that only 1% of diesel is currently being used for the purposes of privately owned cars, but nevertheless finance minister will not let go of this opportunity, and the increased number of car sales of diesels that we have seen in the month of Feb and March also point towards this possibility. The television broadcasting industry was given time till about June 2012 to convert the at least in the four metros to convert all the analog devices into digital signals. And the one thing that you require is a set-top box. Set-top boxes are currently imported, and you could find that the duty on this on set-top boxes could be done away with totally, and it could be reduced or done away with totally, and this will enable the, uh, the broadcasting companies to and the distributors to meet their target of at least in these four metros of converting the analog into digital devices. Point number 8, what the finance minister could do is raise the taxation limit. Currently, in terms of personal taxation, an income of 1.8 lakh rupees over and above that is taxed. So this could be raised to around 2 lakh of rupees. This will this will benefit quite a large number of people who will go out of the tax system altogether, and overall this particular segment does not in any way bring in a large number of a large number of money. So to that extent, it will be a natural justice step which the finance minister will take. The another step on the individual taxation front, what the finance minister could take is it could in make the job of acquiring affordable housing easier for the common man, and this could be in the form of raising the exemption limit of 1.5 lakh rupees per month, which per annum, which is there currently. This could be raised to around 2 lakh of rupees, and so the interest payable on the housing loan could be exempt to the extent of 2 lakh rupees per annum. There has been a demand that to reduce the STT. So I think if the FM wants a buoyant capital market, I think he can let it continue, and the STT can continue as it is. If people want to reduce the FM can reduce it, but he should not do away with it totally, because that will bring in the long-term capital gains tax back into the regime, and that could be detrimental to the health of the overall capital markets. So while we are gung-ho on the fact that the FM could do the 9 things we have talked about, and one thing he shouldn't do, in case it doesn't touch the 10th thing which we have talked about, that is more important, and the markets can take care of themselves, and the budget also. The liquidity will pour in case capital gains tax exemption stays. Thanks.